Guess what, guys? Kendrick is here.
Hi.
Kendrick's gonna talk. He's gonna talk Orange County. This is Kendrick and I feel like if we're not gonna do a normal Atlanta Martha's Vineyard like weekly recap, if either of us ever asks the other one to like come on their pod, it'll usually be a trade. Like, okay, but can you also do mine right after? Or something. Don't we always do that?
I love it. I love it.
So you guys can check out Kendrick's next episode because I will be on that too. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be talking Love Island, which is my first full season.
I'm so excited for you. You know,
I am too.
You know, I'm a part of many like TV fandoms, but like Love Island has just swept me away. Me and Raven, like we talk when it's our jam when it's on because we text nonstop. Like it's so fun. I'm so glad you can be a part of this now. Like I'm so excited for you.
I've been meaning to get into the show, but it's usually I didn't know where to put it in the
it's a thing
in the lineup, and now I'm like I have a whole other pod, and I honestly did not know what else to cover because once Succession ended, I was like, well, that was it. So,
right, and The Idol fucking sucks. So
I refuse. The Idol. I've heard too many stories about the shoot and how toxic that man is.
I've heard nothing, but I know about Sam Levinson's like reputation, so I'm like, but then I'm like, I can't give up Euphoria, so like maybe I should not watch The Idol so I can like stand in solidarity with people.
That's what I'm saying too. I'm like, I don't know if I can handle it when is Euphoria actually coming back? I don't know if I believe it.
I've seen somewhere where someone said like 2025. I'm
like,
why? Like that is so long.
Let it go then. Just don't do it.
Good God.
They're gonna look like different people by then.
Right, so they're supposed to be doing like a time jump, but
they have to.
You have to. Like y'all were already like pushing it, being high schoolers, but we gave y'all a little leeway. We're like, okay, now like keep it cute, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Here at She Speaks Bravo, we believe that Bravo TV is a great form of self-care and therapy. I mean, look at me. I've been using it for over a decade, and I'm a complete mess.
What is this, honey?
I love that.
I'm Emily. Every week, I recap the latest episodes of your favorite Bravo shows, from Housewives to Vanderpump Rules.
We need to get more cosmopolitan.
So if you're not already subscribed, get subscribed and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Okay, well, let's just get into Orange County. We both have the same opinion. I've seen raving about the premiere. And while I don't think it was a bad premiere at all, I just was like, it felt what I liked about it, and I think Kempire said this too when I watched one of his videos recently. I was like, that's exactly how I feel. Mm-hmm. He says it feels old, like the old time Orange County, but still like a new version of it. And that's exactly like how I felt. So I was like, I'm not mad at this. I just thought, well, why didn't they give us the Tamra Shannon showdown right away? Like, why did they do so much, like you said, like staging of like, here's where we are. This is everyone's current situation. And I'm like, I think I could have figured that out. I don't think I needed you guys to like just spend a whole episode doing that.
Right. And I'm very happy Tamara's back, because now it does feel like OC again. There are some shows where it's just like you need, like, if you don't have Tamara, then you need someone else to like just make it. I don't know if Heather Dubrow was ever that person, and that was the issue, because like they brought her back and it was like, oh, we're bringing in old OC, and I was like, are we? Okay, Tamara feels like Tamara's whole energy just changes the show. So that I did love about the premiere. But the premiere felt kind of like a mid-season filler episode almost.
Yeah.
It was kind of, It was great. Like, Eddie's back. Okay. Oh, she's got this friend who she brought on the show. Okay, fun. But it was just like, it wasn't a, Candy saying, I'm going to headbutt this bitch kind of premiere, But still, I'm like, but I will say it gave me optimism about the season. Yeah, I'm optimistic.
It was like a good warm-up, making me like, okay, I have hope. I wasn't, but and Tamra being back is giving exactly what I thought she would give. Yes. The way they do her like entrance on the they love her.
They do.
They gave her a whole entrance with everybody talking about her and like voiceover form. I'm like, damn.
Yes. This was like prime example of like, you know, we've seen some shows get rid of their OGs, quote unquote. I consider Tamra an OG, you know.
I do too.
Yeah, she's an OG. So they get rid of some of their OGs and, you know, the shows kind of do okay. They do fine. So like productions like, well, we don't need to go back to the person. I think OC was one of the examples of you got rid of the core of that show and we don't know what this is anymore.
Yeah. And because so, Gina and Emily are just like, I'm not 100% sure what, because it's taken me so long to believe that Shannon likes either of those women.
Yeah.
And I'm still on the fence about it. But because they just don't seem like they click. So without Tamra to kind of bridge, because Tamra does bridge everybody's gaps, in my opinion. Tamra can like, which kind of makes her two-faced, but she can get along with everybody. And I get that Tamra is a problematic favorite, but I've always liked Tamra.
Yeah.
I know I've said this. I know I've said this story.
You know I like mess. So
you do.
I like mess.
So this is before I started covering Bravo, maybe like right in the beginning. I think I either went on someone's podcast or I had them on mine. And I was like shameless about, I'm like, I love Tamra. And they made this face like, oh, and I was like, what? And then I posted something about how much I liked Tamra because I don't remember what was happening. And this was, again, like years ago now, in 2020 when I first started my account.
Right.
And all the comments were like, fuck Tamra. She's a rat. She's the worst. And I was like, I had no idea.
Goodness.
I find her to be so entertaining. So if, you know, you're talking to the wrong people, Kendrick and me, for having problematic favorites.
We are the wrong, right? The absolute wrong people. People like drag Giselle and Robin all the time. I'm like,
well, no one is worse than Kendrick. You have your fucking
yes.
Is
I am
the
on the whole
messiest of messy. And Kendrick would remember when we were covering Family Karma, and you were talking about Amrit, and you're like, he's getting messy, and even I'm not liking it. And that's a bad sign.
Because I hate like, not obvious messiness. Cause like, you know, Giselle came on the show and like, she made it known like, I'm messy, just so y'all know. But I hate it when like someone feels like they need to shift to that role because I don't know whether they think like the show needs it or what happens, but like we can kind of pick up on that. So I don't like that, but Tamra, Giselle, Kenya, they are used to the mess. And that's what I like to see. I like the people that have committed to the mess from day one. That's my kind of person.
Yeah, and Tamra really has.
Oh, yes, she has.
And it's exactly what I was hoping would happen. I thought she was going to have an issue with Gina because I remembered during during last season when Tamra was covering Orange County, she talked a little shit about Gina, and I remember Gina trying to clap back, but Gina's not very good at reads or clapbacks or anything like that. Don't try. It just makes she stumbled. She responded to it on Watch What Happens Live. I think it might have even been one of those moments where like at the commercial break, Tamra tweeted something, and when they come back, Andy's like, Tamra just tweeted, and so Gina had no time to like think about it, but she literally stuttered. Like she's like, I just wanted I'm on the show. I was like, oh, I don't know.
You know who that's like? Sheree is dynamite when you give her a little time to think of the shade. Like I'll stand by that, and I know that's controversial because of the cast she's around though, but I'll say it. Sheree's shade is so lethal and deadly when she has time to think about it that's why she's like, I think that's why Bravo keeps bringing her back because they're always like, man, Sheree is a good time when they go back and like piece those clips. Those one line, like no one is gonna beat Biscuits and Bullets this season. Nobody. As hard as you try, you're not gonna beat Biscuits and Bullets. I'm sorry, just hang it up. But I love to see everybody trying to. But Sheree is the same way. Like when Sheree gets put on the spot to like respond to something, the stuttering and I'm like, oh girl, no, we gotta. I remember when they said, who was it? Candy and Phaedra had went to like when she was building Chateau Sheree, they had went out to the property. Remember there was that big hole, and there's that like infamous clip of them standing there just for a while in silence, and they're just both like, just like looking at it. And Andy asked her about that moment, and she she stuttered through that sentence so bad. She was trying to say, well, there should have been a do not trespass sign up, but it took her about 20 minutes to say the line. I was like, oh, girl.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No, this ain't it, sis.
I do know
Come
what
on.
you're saying. I do know exactly what you're saying.
Ugh.
They give us a little preview too of what's to come from Tamra, and she looks wasted in the one where she's like, I think they're on a boat, it looks like, and she's like, you can say whatever you want, Shannon. You're a fucking liar and you're a drunk.
Yeah, you're a liar. Yes.
And Shannon goes, I don't miss this. Now, I have to say something. I used to really hate Shannon. Like, Shannon, when she was going through her divorce with David, was just so obnoxious. She would do things like just strictly for attention. Like when she tries to act kind of goofy and weird, I'm like, this isn't your natural personality. This is like just something you're doing.
Right.
And she was just such a victim. It drove me nuts. However, last season, the way they came for her was so like, even I'm liking Shannon now. Like, what are you guys did such a bad job coming for her. And then the more I've gotten away from the old seasons where I hated her so much, I'm like, I get Shannon now. I get her value. I get why people like her, but I have struggled with Shannon.
Let me tell you, I've never liked Shannon. Think that I wish I was on the same page. I'm kind of with Shannon. Like, I start over every season because the OC Housewives, I just don't think about during the off season. So like,
right, I don't care.
Right, I feel like every season I come back and I'm like, oh, let's see what you guys are up to. Like, let me give you all a chance. So like, everyone is almost like equal footing.
Yeah,
when we start off. Like even Heather, I'm like, whatever, Heather's here. Okay, let's see how rich she is. And so the problem is, last season I kind of tapped out like halfway through.
Me too.
Like I was going through some stuff. I was like, girl, okay, so I never got to the part where like Noella had that infamous crying by the river moment. Like,
I didn't either. I just saw clips of it.
Exactly. I'm like, what is happening? I don't know what any of this is. So I didn't get to go on that journey with Shannon, but like even now, she's fresh start with me. I'm willing to see,
where
her
we
become
go.
a good one. But that too is one of the reasons why Shannon was so hard for me to digest. That whole like divorce with Dave, one of my big things about like across reality TV, like in real life, whatever, one thing I hate is when like people say like, oh no, I forgave him for that, I moved on, or I forgave her and all like that and stuff, and then it's so awkward to me to watch scenes and then they constantly like bringing up the old issue that they said they forgot. I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, look, I hate this. Either like divorce or like state or fix the marriage. Like I hate watching this. It's so awkward to me as a fan. Like if I'm witnessing it in real life, it's like, oh boy, like take me out of the group chat. I hate this. Like I don't want to be involved.
She totally did that too. She tripled down. She's like, I can honestly say I am fully over the affair.
Yes.
Oh, Shannon also Chelsea. Oh no, Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
She coined this because I didn't know what to call Shannon's hands.
Yeah,
she calls them Barbie hands.
Yes,
and I didn't know what to call them until she said, I'm like, I'm glad someone's talking about it because does she really not realize that she does this weird thing with their hands that they're fully together like Barbie hands, like they're little dolls, and the
hands coupled with like that random like middle sentence inflection she does, like, well, I was gonna go to the beach, I was and it's like, what is happening right now?
I am going to be recapping the Ireland trip over on my Patreon, and so I had to relive that awful top of the morning that she thought she was so fucking cute doing over and over again.
God.
I needed to go away. God, I hate it. We get a little Taylor spotting too when they're doing Tamra's like montage of terrible, where Tamra fucking takes her drink, her glass beverage, and she goes, you, and drops it, breaks the glass, goes, our fake friend. I'm like, what? Camera.
Jesus.
I don't know where I would be ever if I would be like, I'm going to take this glass and drop it on the table to make my point. It had like beverages in it too.
Yes, I invited her to my home.
Damn you.
Gosh.
So and then we see Eddie, and all is forgotten because I fucking love Eddie.
Yes. Same.
I'm like, oh, this is, and then I think Tamra knows. Tamra knows that Eddie is like kind of like her best part of her if
asset,
you will.
Yes.
Yeah. He's so loving and understanding, and he just like lets her be her.
One of the best smiles on Bravo. Like,
yeah. And he's not embarrassed by anything that she does. And I just want them to release a full-blown sex tape because I would watch it.
As would I.
Oh my God. I would be in a throuple with them in a heartbeat. I think Tamra's so fucking hot. Like, I love a little blonde spinner. That's my type. And she is that. And then Eddie, and they're so open about their sex. I'm like, oh my God, just release it already.
Right.
Maybe when her kids get old enough.
I mean, hey, let me see. Cut is gone. We learned about that. You know, that's gone. So, I mean, listen, Eddie, if you want to go the OnlyFans route,
please.
Just saying, you got some supporters. We'll make it happen.
That will be the only OnlyFans I subscribe to or pay for or whatever.
I wish I could say the same because there have been a couple times. Let me tell y'all something. Probably the creepiest thing about me. I'm the person, like, when I find a content creator that I love, like, you know, like, not like, you know, like, we, like, talk about shows. Like, I mean, like, the content creator, like, you know, the gym influencers and the fitness and the, what else is it? Like, the cooking influencers, like, these people. I am the person that always, like, if I like your content, I'm always, like, going to your bio, your Instagram. I'm like, do you have a link tree over here? And if I see a link tree, I'm clicking on it every time. I'm like, what you got linked out here? Let me see. And if I scroll and I see something, I might just listen. First I'm going to search on Google first to see if it's free. But
none of this surprises me because Kendrick knows all the ways to find out all. Especially he's the one who taught me too, guys. Pro tip in case you missed this one: if you want to see someone's OnlyFans like naughty pictures, go to Twitter. I thought Kendrick was kidding, but he was not. And literally everything, which is why I think that it really is true that Larsa doesn't show more than like feet.
Yeah.
Because it would have been leaked.
It would absolutely be out there. It would be like Shade Room front news. Like,
I am shocked too that OnlyFans doesn't have it blocked where you can't like screen grab. You know what I mean? Because like,
and you know
Hulu, HBO, they do. You would think OnlyFans would be like, this is, you know, confidential.
You know what? OnlyFans has really got to step it up because, like, I think they still are only like web based too. So like, you can look on the web on your phone. Like, they don't have an app. I'm like, what kind of janky shit is this? Like, what are we doing here?
It needs to step it up because every time I go, I've done this so many times where I'm like, I think I'm going to do an OnlyFans. Kendrick was even trying to give me like tips on how we could do it anonymously, but the site just feels so porny.
It does, yeah.
They're
trying to like change their image, and I'm like, it's not working. No, it's not. I'm sorry.
It's not going to work, guys. Okay, Tamra, she's back in the house we've seen her in before, but they've remodeled it. Great remodel. Looks fabulous. Her mom, Sandy, who's awesome. I love her mom. Her mom is just great TV. She's so funny. She's just like Tamra, really open about like sex. She talks about having sex with her boyfriend.
Yes. I love that scene, actually. That was kind of like Tamra's all the way back on OC when you saw that scene. I kind of loved it.
Yep. Sandy talking about how she's quiet, so she uses a ball gag.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tamra. This is the thing. Heather Dubrow always needs someone like a Tamra around because she needs to be a little like, oh my, and like do a little of that and then kind of loosen up. But if she's leading the pack, it's not right. She's too uptight for it.
Because then the girls like kind of bend towards her personality, and that's why last season just did not work. You had like Dr. Jen wanted to be a Heather clone, so like they would say. My favorite scene from last season that I did watch was Emily when she was talking about how Jennifer was copying literally everything Heather does. And so like Heather would say, oh my God, these blinds are great or something like that. And Jen's right behind her. Oh my God, they're great. And she was, every time she did it, and like production had footage of her always copying like the exact same thing she said. I was like, this is so like Stepford Wives creepy. Like, get out of here. And
Jen was such a flop.
A big flop. And I feel like I'm a little nervous because I think, if I'm not mistaken, did we replace a Jen and a Ryan with a Jen and a Ryan?
Doesn't it feel like that?
It's so weird. I think same names and everything. It's so weird.
I agree because
very weird.
It was like the same vibe where I wasn't quite sure of their chemistry or their dynamic. So very much giving same energy for sure.
Right. Ooh.
Shannon and Emily go on a hike, and I forget that Shannon's daughter is like, her daughter Sophie is so devout that she wants to be a virgin.
Yes.
Up until marriage. Wow. Okay.
Here we are talking about OnlyFans. So
I know, right? Same. Emily drinking out of the dog bowl. Girl. She's like, I read somewhere that a dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's mouth. Well, maybe by biological standards or something, but still, you don't. They also like eat shit and lick their assholes.
Right. Couldn't be me.
No, that's not great. But okay, they discuss Tamra. And
can I tell you why like this makes me a little nervous? Because I actually, believe it or not, like I know Gina and Emily are kind of like up and down with the fans. Like they either really like them or they really don't. Emily, I actually really like on the show, but I feel like sometimes I feel like last season was like Emily's shining season, but I feel like when she has like other figures around, like a Tamra or someone else, then I feel like she starts to play kind of the comedy role instead of like the like last season she was getting into like she was in the mix and she wouldn't let people talk down her. She would like who was the one that said that what was it? Terry was botching surgeries out there or something like that.
Oh,
she like stood up over her and like it was great TV. And so like I hope Emily doesn't lose herself in the Tamra is back of it all. I'm a little nervous, but we'll see how it plays out. I don't know.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, Emily was kind of, I hate to say it, but she was kind of bottom of the totem pole on this episode. Like nothing to contribute really. Sad.
Yeah. And also, don't ever look into anyone in Orange County's like political beliefs.
Oh, I tried them
Stay
especially.
Away.
I've listened to enough podcasts too. Where I'm like, oh,
Jersey and Orange County, just don't even bother. Just don't. Also, if we see 1 second of Tamra's son Ryan, I will be very pissed off.
Yeah, get him the fuck out of here.
He needs to go. He's a terror.
Ugh.
So Emily's like, so what happened, Shannon, with Tamra? And she's like, she got fired. I'm like, ooh, damn.
Love that, Allison. Love that.
Her version is that she stayed talking to Tamra, but I fully believed Tamra doesn't lie. Tamra does not lie. And Shannon has notoriously been a shitty friend.
Yeah.
She's selfish. So I bet. They do the montage of all the things Tamra was saying on podcasts. And she's like, Shannon used me. The worst thing I ever did was stand up for her. I'm like, oh, God, I forgot how savage she was. She did not give a fuck when she got fired.
I loved it.
Tamra
she directed her anger at the right place,
yes,
too.
She did.
She directed to the cast members, not the company. And so she didn't blame production. She didn't blame Bravo. None of that. So, like, Bravo's like, you know what? Come on back.
Come on back.
Yes.
We miss you, girl.
That's how you get fired, people. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's exactly. Take note. Take note. And Tamra's just like, the truth hurts, bitch. But Tamra's version, Tamra also does this a lot. Like when Brandy confronted Tamra in the Ultimate Girls Trip, she really downplays what she said. So Tamra goes, I told the truth when they asked me if I talked to Shannon. I said I haven't heard from her. I'm like, Tamra, we just heard quotes. You went a little harder than that.
Yeah.
And so Shannon tells Emily, I'm not going to bend over anymore. I need to be heard. I'm like, you've never bent over.
Right. What history are you thinking about right now?
I don't even know what time you did. Like you're notorious for like leaving because you can't handle what's being said. So
right.
I don't know what that is.
Stop it.
Emily picks up her kids, and I have to say her kids are fucking funny.
Yeah.
She's got Keller and Luke, and then Annabelle in the front. Annabelle is a star.
Yes.
She is a star. She was like mouthing along with Emily as she ordered. She was spot on. She's just funny. Like, she's a cute kid. Shane has passed the bar, and now he's at work all day. Oh, okay.
Did he pass, or did like...
I think they had to lower the, the curve or whatever. And he passed.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. If y'all aren't watching, I had to like take a moment because First of all, congratulations to him. Very, very happy for that. He's been trying for years. I'm glad it's happened. But as someone who could possibly be represented by him one day, does that not give us a little reason for pause that our lawyer didn't wholly pass the bar? I don't know.
Real good point.
Someone let me know if I'm missing something, but that creeps me out a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're wait, you're the lawyer that couldn't pass originally, and then they had to change the whole standard to lower. Okay, hold on. Maybe I want someone else.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Not a great selling point. How about that? He doesn't advertise that.
He needs to take on a high profile case, and we need to follow along to see if he's doing stuff, and then it'll excuse that. So there we go. Shane, just take on next time Erica Girardi gets sued, just go to her and be like, look, I got you pro bono. Let's do this. And then if you get her off, exactly. Once you get her off, there we go.
We believe you.
We believe you. You're good.
Terry had surgery on his meniscus. So the first time we see Heather, she's wheeling him in.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I may have my qualms about Heather, she's created a beautiful family.
Yes.
She's very open and loving about anything they do, anything they say. It doesn't even faze her. It's this is what they're going to do. So Max and Nikki are off to college.
Mm-hmm.
The dorms have laundry service. What fancy ass school is this kid going to?
Where are they going to? We need to look that up because
laundry service. You put it out in the front and someone comes and gets it and brings it back?
Oh my God. It's either one or two things was happening when I was in college. They had the washer and dryers down there, and if your ass didn't know how to do laundry, you better fucking figure it out down there. Luckily, I had a little bit of training in that area, so I knew how to wash and dry my clothes. I knew to separate my stuff because most guys were going down there and just throwing everything in one wash and just
on hot.
It worked for exactly on hot, high heat, everything. Throwing it in there, don't give a damn. Or number two, they're driving home for the weekend and letting mom do it. One of those
that's
two
a good point. Yeah.
I don't know anything about these concierge services that they have. So.
And I'm Heather, are you sure that's not just a thing you guys are specifically getting for them because you have the money to do so? Because I don't know if that's a thing that everyone offers.
Because I genuinely haven't heard of any college offering this. So if anybody out there listening on YouTube, on Apple, whatever, leave Emily a 5-star rating and review, and then tell us in there, tell us where you went to college and they had this service. Because I've never heard of this before. It kind of gagged me a little bit.
For my demographic, where your kids have gone to college.
Yeah.
I range between 25 and 55.
And there we go. We love a range.
I love a range. But anyway, Heather brings up Shane and Emily, and apparently Shane and Emily are now their little couple buddies. But Gina has been radio silent since that New York City trip. Gina has a bad thing about doing this with people, though.
Yeah.
Emily had a problem with it at one point too. But Terry says that people may not invite us to things because they think it's not fancy enough. And sure enough, that's exactly what Gina ends up saying. You know what, though?
Because I was the one saying, when I was watching this, I was like, you know what? Gina only contacted Heather when they started filming. That's a TV friend. I hate those kind of friends because they're going to turn on you the moment they get it and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like I would have I'd be a little iffy too. I don't feel like I could just invite Heather to the family cookout. A barbecue with Hoochie Daddy music playing in the background. I don't know if I can invite Heather to bro to that party. So that I might be the same way. Not intentionally, because that's my friend, love her, but this doesn't seem like her vibe. You
don't want her to walk in and be like, oh my.
Exactly, because then I'm like, okay, bitch, what's wrong? Okay, what you trying to say? That's my family.
Question: Is Hoochie Daddy the new Hoochie Mama?
Well, when us, young men put on our shorter than short shorts in the summertime, we refer to
I don't know how. I've never heard of hoochie daddy.
Yes, we get our hooch on.
I'm obsessed.
Listen, my closet, go find there are like hoochie daddy Twitter, hoochie daddy TikTok, like where the guys.
Oh, thank you for opening my world to this.
Yes, the dog, especially they love it when like the guys are like over like 6'2", put their hoochie daddy shorts on because it's just all legs.
Okay, guys, search that hashtag on any platform because I'm about to. Okay, thank you. I need some new eye candy. Okay, like you said, we go bowling with Eddie, Tamra, Jen, and Ryan. And wasn't her man named Ryan? Didn't he change it to Ryan?
Ryan, that's what it was. I thought it was Ryan, but I think it was Ryan.
It was Ryan.
Super weird.
And then it was like he's changed it to Ryan, and then no one knew. I want to say even at one point Gina says his name, and she's like, it's Ryan. And she's like, isn't that what I'm saying? No, there's no A. Okay, it's Ryan.
Like, oh, okay.
Sorry.
That makes a difference. Thanks.
Yeah. But Jen talked about how she's going to be throwing her outdoor class. So I'm like, okay, that's your first activity. Made sure that you got that in with production. Cool. The closing of Cut. Tamra's worried about Eddie. And I don't blame her because Eddie loved that gym, man. He loved it. But that's where Jen met Ryan. And Ryan was like the asshole that would come in and work out and like check himself out and whatever. I'm like, well, that's your man. Not going to be shocked when things go bad.
All right, yeah. You know what Eddie should do?
Ooh.
I don't know. They've had their own business, so I know sometimes people are weary about like going back into like working for someone else. But even like starting your own, he should be one of those because I think he has the personality, he has the pretty face, everything. He should be like one of the people that like when they do online like workouts for people, not like just like not like a like an influencer like making their videos, but like what are those things called? Like how like Peloton
virtual
has those
trainer?
Classes and
he would be great at that.
Yeah, not like the bikes, but like the actual workouts. Like one of those guys with the pretty background and the weights behind them and stuff.
You just made me realize that those Peloton classes and things are really what kind of probably took a bunch of gyms down.
Yeah. Probably.
Because people were like, I just got a Peloton bike and I do Peloton classes because Peloton doesn't just do bikes anymore. They do like weight classes and stuff. And so I didn't even think of that till you said it. Like, ooh, that's probably like an antiquated opening of a gym. Like a gym, who needs to do that?
Right. I've been seeing like LA Fitnesses being like replaced by I think around here it's called Esporta, but I don't know if that's like
what's that?
I don't know, no idea. But like
is it
it's
a
whole new thing. I don't know. I think it's a gym too. I don't know, but like these like popular brands are going by the wayside. And, like other people are coming in and like they're like, oh well, it's already built like a gym. Let's put our gym here. And yeah,
they're like, we got a bunch of money. We got a bunch of investors.
It's a ting.
Gina goes by Heather's with a gift for Max, but like pops by, like literally calls like, I'm in the area. And I did like Heather going, no one really pops by my house. It's behind 3 gates.
Right. I did love that. Heather is a little too snobby for me sometimes, but that's the level of snob that I love. That's kind of like what I call like the quiet flex. It's like, it doesn't mean to be a flex, but like 3 gates is a fucking flex. So.
It's a flex.
Love it.
3
love
gates?
It.
I'm like, so when you have to call 3 different gates being like, this person's coming, this person's coming.
Right.
Yeah.
My God.
Gates are weird. Like when I was doing a lot of signings, when I would pull up and there would be a gate, it was always so intimidating. But they do not let you in until they get that phone call saying, yes, I approve this person. So it's a thing. And it's so weird when you get behind the gate. You're like, only people that are allowed behind this gate are here.
Yes.
It's
like
it's weird.
Clear.
Yes. The sky is blue.
Yes. It's amazing.
It's a whole different clean energy behind it.
But also, don't fucking pop up over my house. Like, what are you doing? Ever. I hate that so much. Like when I'm just laying down watching TV and my doorbell rings, number one, my dog's gonna go insane. First of all, but 2, like I'm not expecting an Amazon package. I'm not expecting company. Like, what are you doing here? And it's just someone like, oh hey, what's up? I'm like, nothing. What's up? How can I help you? Like, what are you doing here? Oh, nothing. Just popping over. Like, I hate that for me, first of all. I guess come in, let me change my entire day so I can accompany or, accommodate you for being over here.
And I'm usually like really stoned when I'm home alone. And so like talking to people is not always easy when I'm like shut down in like stoner mode. I'm like, hold on. I got to really switch gears here.
Yeah.
If I'm weird, that's your fault because you're the one who decided to pop by. I would have been like, I wouldn't have even answered the phone.
Exactly.
Because I'm like, I am too stoned. Cannot talk to person. No.
A whole other thing going. Get out of here.
Yes. But Gina says she's going to get her real estate license, which is like the new thing. Everybody is getting a real estate license, I feel. It's like, because I want to say something. As if going into real estate is easy. Because you may get the license, but people don't realize that you have to fight for every listing. They don't just start handing you $1 million listings. You are showing garbage places for a while, and you are trying to. It is hard because my friend's boyfriend did that years ago, and he was such an odd guy that I was like, he's going to sell real estate. But he ended up struggling. He's like, oh my God, it's really hard because I can't even get a listing. He was at Keller Williams, I think. And it's like they give them to the top sellers.
Right.
Which is why it seems so great. I'm like, damn, he's going to be at Keller Williams. But it's like, they sort of will take you, but like you go get the business.
See that?
And how do you go get business?
Exactly. Like, how do you even know that? See, I blame Selling Sunset.
I do too.
Everybody thinks that you can just like, first of all, because I don't think half of those girls. Like that. Exactly. Because I don't think half of those girls were doing real estate before this show. Like, I think some were admins and were like, you know what? I'm going to get my license and I'll do it this way. And so I think people are like, you know what? I get to put on my best ball gown and go to this like mid-level neighborhood and sell it. Like, no real estate agent is wearing a ball gown to a listing like they're doing on Selling Sunset. I'm sorry.
And they're not even really there to like get that place ready. They're just there to film a scene of them talking.
Exactly. They're going to fluff a few pillows, but that's it. Like nothing else is happening.
I don't even know if they fluff pillows. They walk in and they're like, we're going to go to hit our mark over here. And then they sit down and they're like, anyway, we're just talking about whatever. And then I'm like, is the client coming?
Right.
I don't think you guys are just filming here. It's ridiculous.
You know what? I stopped watching that show because it stressed me out so bad when I don't remember anyone's name now, barely, because I haven't watched it in a couple seasons. But one of the women on there had like a $75 million house, and I was like, you're not gonna sell this. Like, what are we doing here?
$75 million.
It was stupid, and they kept telling her, they're like, don't like agree to sell this house. Like, what are you doing? Like, no. And she agreed.
$75 million. Yes, it's not even a real number in my head.
Right. It was stupid. Like, it was a stupid, insane number. And it's like, no, and this guy like would not budge on his price. He's like, no, I'm selling it at this. If you can't do it, I'll find someone else who will.
They always
and stuff like that.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
Go find someone else then.
Right. That stressed me out. I'm not watching the show anymore. Like, that's too much. Like, now the stakes are too high. I don't like this.
They're too high.
I don't like it.
Heather brings up Gina disappearing, like kind of ghosting her. And they do one of those time lapses of Gina talking that they use for Dorit.
Yes.
I now call it the Dorit time lapse, where it's like, she's like, I had a lot going on with Travis. So my kids were sad and I got sad. And then I went to, and it's like doing one of those. And then she goes, I just got overwhelmed. I think I have social anxiety. And Heather goes, okay, back to us.
Right.
And then busts her on being like, she's like, I'm wondering if I'm in a one-sided friendship. I wish Gina in that scene had said the things she says in her confessional, which is she just wants to be invited to the dive bar that I'm having a party so that she can decline the invitation. Right. I wish she had said that to Heather. I wish she had said, well, girl, do you really want to come? Because she does say, she's like, it's not fancy. And Heather's like, I don't care. And I wish she would have been like, but don't you?
Oh, exactly. If you didn't care, then we wouldn't spend $1 million on every party we have on this show in this house. Like, no, stop it.
So... But Heather does not like having one-sided friendships. This has been she's definitely called Vicky and Tamra out on this before. And so I don't hate that. I like that it bothers Heather. It's just tough that she's a billionaire.
Right.
You know, exactly. It's tough for her, you know.
The hard life. Oh my God.
Oh man, it's really rough.
dear.
So then we go to Jen's house where she has all these animals and shit, and her kids are 12, 16, 18, 9 is the adopted one, and 13.
Go through the animals, because she had like a zoo in there too.
She had a guinea pig.
Yes, like
she had like
multiple
3 dogs,
multiple cats, like
7 cats.
It was a situation. Can I just on both of our behalf, because we talk about it every week, Sonia Richards Ross, I am sorry, because I would gladly live with you before I live in this overpopulated house that this woman on the West Coast is living in. My God.
Overpopulated. It is overpopulated.
Way too overpopulated. My God.
I'm confused. The status with her and her ex-husband was strange. Like, they share a house, and when Will lives in Oklahoma and works for her family's business, and Ryan obviously does not enjoy this arrangement because he makes a little comment like, "Oh, maybe I'll wear Will's clothes," and she's like, "All right, okay, I know you don't like it." I'm like,
right.
So what is this? I don't understand.
Right.
So she will leave when he comes into town. She will go and stay at Ryan's house when he comes into town to be with the kids. I mean, I guess that's not that weird, but she doesn't seem happy, and she seems like she's got some stories on that ex that she's not saying because her family still loves her. We'll get to that in a second.
This feels very like Dolores, David, Frank-esque. Like, I don't like it. I got tired of that yo-yoing around. Like, let's know. Clean cut, get your own house. Like, stop it.
Get your own house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pickleball with Heather, Gina, and Tamra. I'm like, we're still doing this? But Gina is happy to see Tamra. And she says, what I like about Tamra is I don't have to text her all the time. We're cool when I see her.
That easy friendship.
That was shade probably towards Heather a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
That's fine. Pete, Heather's driver, he brings them a picnic after pickleball.
Only
it's
Heather.
Epic. I'm like, okay, this is the shit I get about being a billionaire. Yep. Yes. I would like these kind of things as well. But Jen is hosting a yoga class, and they talk a little bit about new girl Jen, and Gina says that Jen is a little mysterious, but she has very good energy. And that did intrigue me.
That scared me.
Okay.
You know, one thing about our housewives, I hate them being described as mysterious because that usually means like if you lift up one too many stacks of paper,
and that's what I'm saying. Let's do it. Let's get under there. Let's find it because you know this woman. Ex-husband Will. I'm not trusting him. What's this family business? We need to look into that. Immediately when she said mysterious, I'm like, okay, let's go, baby. What are we going to show? What are we about to expose here?
Oof.
Heather says, she's like, I'm going to bring Shannon. And Tamra's like, oh, great. Love it. And she says Shannon ghosted her. But then they do this like split where Shannon's like, I did not. I have a string of text messages to prove that. Okay.
I don't know how to ghost. It's like, okay, Shannon.
Yeah, I don't even know how to send something to voicemail.
Good Lord.
Tamra says that she's like, Simon got cancer. And I was literally crying and Shannon would not respond to her text. I believe it. Tamra doesn't make this shit up. And Vicky was also mad too. So they both were pissed at this. Heather does vouch for Shannon though. I forget that they ended up on a good page from last season. She's like, she's changed. I'm like, no, she hasn't.
No.
But she has, I guess, in one way, because she would have totally erupted and done her usual like, I'm done. I hated that phase. Oh my God, when she was divorcing David.
You will all see the truth.
See, I didn't mind that beginning. That was her first season. I didn't mind.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite like housewives lines. I love that.
You will all see the truth.
I tell people
dead
all the
serious
time.
Too. Like the fact that she delivered that line in all sincerity, like you will all see the truth. Wow, that is impressive that you meant that. But like when she was divorcing David, and like anytime anyone would say anything to her, like even Lydia, who I don't like at all, but I was even on Lydia's side where I was like, Shannon, let it go.
It was a lot. Because I actually, it's terrible to admit this now, but like when Lydia first came back, like that season when she came back, I was on her side with most things. I was like, Shannon is doing the absolute most. And I feel like nobody ever like calls her out on like in this way, because like that would be me. I'd be like, okay, you doing a lot. Like, are you okay, girl? And then Shannon's like, oh wow, okay. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm leaving.
Yes.
Thank you. Like, okay, girl.
Okay,
like, calm
too
down.
much. Like
much.
maybe you need to take a break from the show or something. But
right.
She didn't, and she gave us some really fun content to make fun of her over. So I do thank her for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then we go to Jen's yoga class, and she's one of those people where like she took one hot yoga class and she just was so inspired. Her whole life was forever changed. So she opened a studio, but she opened it during COVID. So that's why she's doing this outside class, hoping that will change things. I'm like, oh dear.
Yeah. Heather
and Shannon are the last to arrive, it seems. And when they hug, when Tamra and Shannon hug, Tamra goes, "How are you?" I was like, oh, don't do that. Just hug her. Just hug her and be like, we'll talk.
Right, exactly.
But even Tamra seemed a little nervous. Like Tamra talked a big game being like, I'm coming back and I'm going to say all the shit I wanted to say. But it's a little easier said than done.
Exactly.
Then you get in front of them and you're like, okay, hi. So I don't believe Shannon for a second when she was acting like she couldn't do an ounce of yoga.
Right.
It's an act. It's a bit. Like, no one is that uncoordinated, especially since she's worked out with people and been like losing weight and stuff. I'm like, okay, I get that this is your thing, but this is the part of Shannon I can't stand.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop thinking it's
the
funny.
Sticky stuff.
The sticky stuff where she's got a bit. I'm like, all right.
But I hate to bring this cast up, but she reminds me sometime of, like, I know everyone loves Sonya in New York,
girl.
But she's the same way a lot of the time where it's like, okay, like, I get it. Like, we're going to talk about your vagina right now. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about that. But it's
seriously, though.
One trick pony a lot of the time. It's like, can we like get new material or something? Like, you'd impress me if you opened up about something. Like, that would impress me. Like, not just I'm the comedian of the group. Just laugh at me and do that. Like, no. Can we?
It's like we're never getting to the real shit of you, and like
ever.
There's clearly a lot of good stuff there, but I agree.
House.
It's the shtick. It's like, okay, we get it.
No!
They split off into two people, and Emily and Tamra have a very quick resolution where Emily's like, "We're more similar than we think we are. Let's get along," and Tamra's like, "I apologize for anything I said." Emily does too. I'm like, all right, well, that was easy. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more drama, but all right, fine. This is where I was like, I was kind of expecting more from the premiere, because I was like, I know that she's been talking shit about Emily. Maybe they're going to fight, but Emily's like, no, I'm not going to do a whole season fighting with you.
Yeah.
Shannon talks about her and John, and it's going to be fun watching this because we know they break up. And she's gonna, and like, they've just hit their
with her, didn't he?
Yeah, like dumped her ass.
Oh.
Yeah. And when I had MJ and Tommy on the pod, Tommy's this is why I love getting like straight guy commentary. He watches not really knowing any of their names, but he forms opinions based on what like straight guys think.
Yeah.
And he figured out, he's like, he didn't want there to be any footage of him being an asshole. So he wanted a whole season of being on the show. He wanted to get paid for the show. And then he breaks up with her because then there can't be all this footage of him talking all this shit for a long time.
Oh.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
That's actually
accurate.
That's probably what Tom Sandoval's plan was too. So I think Tommy's on to something.
That's exactly what Tom Sandoval's plan was. Even though I'm convinced Tom Sandoval still wouldn't have left Ariana had he not gotten caught. I think he was having this like double life, loving it. He was obsessed with it because he fancied himself like in a movie. I think he's like, remember when he cheers Raquel and he's like, "Cheers to being in hell." I'm like, okay,
Jesus,
that's too far. Too far. Jen talks about her situation with her ex. Her family flew in for an intervention when she said she was divorcing him. That's not good. Gross. Absolutely gross. Like, that says a lot. And so I feel like because she doesn't say any of the real reasons. And I think it's because like he still works for the family. Like, there's something dark there. That husband did some stuff and she doesn't want to talk about it. But I could tell it was dark.
Makes me wonder like how old school her family is too. Yeah. Where they're like, you know, I hate like this quote and this mentality, but there are like so many older people that think that like, well, if he isn't putting his hands on you, there's no reason to leave. And it's like, okay, like that's a horrible way of thinking. Exactly. First of all, because physical abuse is not the only form of abuse. I don't know, and I don't know their situation.
Allegedly, we're just saying that this is what it feels like. Like, right. If your daughter says she wants to divorce someone, you should just be like, okay,
right. Not support you.
Yeah, not like, how bad could it be? I'm like, well, it doesn't matter if she's saying she wants to divorce him. You flying for an intervention? That's insane.
That's weird. I'd like to know more about that, please.
Yes, let's please. I hope that's what we're going to be getting into.
Right.
Ugh. Gina asks Tamra, they're talking inside. She's like, so what's going on with you and Shannon? And then Emily comes and joins in. And she's like, you just need to have a conversation with her. And then Shannon walks in. And Emily's doing her best to change the subject. She's like starting to talk about, she's like, and then, you know, maybe we can go out to dinner after, and then we can, and then, but Gina's not seeing it. So she's like, she should hear that. If you say you hurt my feelings, she should hear that. And Shannon just watching this and she goes, oh, is this me?
Whoopsie.
Yeah.
Tamra's face was priceless.
Yes. Like so fucking like, busted. She's like, whoa, oops, yikes. Hi.
Whoopsie.
Oopsies. But so Gina and Emily leave them alone and they talk and Tamra immediately starts crying. Because she like I forgot her dog died. I forgot they had to put Bronx down. That will always make me cry. Like thinking of putting an animal down. But they closed their gym and she's like, I miss my best friend. And then Shannon suggests they should get together to talk through it. And then they show 1 week later. And Tamra and Shannon are meeting for lunch. And there's this voiceover over it as they show her sitting down and then Shannon walking in. Mm-hmm. And Shannon's saying like, you said that I was a fake friend. And Tamra's like, well, you are a fake friend. And then another little section is Shannon saying, it was an attack. And Tamra goes, it was more like an intervention. And Shannon says, intervention, my ass. And here's my critique. We could have got that in the premiere.
We should have got that in premiere. We should have done one of those supersized episodes where it was an hour and 15.
Yeah.
The last 15 could have been that conversation.
Because I'm sure teasing it's us with it.
Right. It's only going to be the last 10 minutes of next week's episode. So it's like you could have gave us that now. Like let us say that like this premiere was amazing and stellar by putting that in. But now we're just like.
But the fact that you had to hold it for the next episode, that it takes me from being like, yes, this is going to be a good season to like, are you dragging this out because you don't have a lot of other content,
right?
You know.
Oh, also, why the fuck would y'all meet in public to have this conversation if y'all know that this is possibly gonna get like? I would think that like you'd invite her over for drinks one night or a little.
You're right.
Some hors d'oeuvres, you know, something like that. But public, my God.
You're right. No, you're completely right. It's always in public so that the onlookers could be like, oh my God, they're so loud.
Right.
I'm like, consider yourselves lucky.
Exactly.
I would give anything to be within earshot of filming for a housewives fight. It just sounds like a real dream come true.
I wonder how people like in it actually feel about it, because I wonder like if you probably like if you only happened upon it once, then it's probably like, oh wow, that was funny to see. But like if you've shown up like your second, you know, your favorite restaurant for like the second time, you're like, God damn it, they're here again. Oh,
imagine it's like such a regular thing. I feel like that's why they probably don't go to this. I just realized they don't go to the same restaurants really ever, except for like the Quiet Woman, maybe.
The Quiet Woman, that's
because the Quiet Woman was like, we will take all of that. Go ahead, do it again. We're fine. Our business is booming.
Yeah,
but I realized that like, because actually that's what I'm thinking of on Jersey last season, when they were so desperate to get Teresa to stop fighting with Marge the next day, because they had fought. That was when she had thrown everything across the table at Marge.
Oh yes, in Nashville, right?
And in Nashville on their cast trip. And so the next day they went to some other thing, and it was in public. And Teresa's like, I'm about to pick a fight, and the way they were begging her, like everybody was begging her not to. Production must have been like, guys, all of Nashville has been warned about us. barely hanging on to this location. They have made it abundantly clear that we cannot fight here, okay?
Yes. Yes.
So please, just make this a boring scene.
And you know what? I feel like certain cities, like Atlanta in particular, is so used to it because like every single black reality show is shot in Atlanta. So I feel like these restaurants are just like, fine, whatever, I'll sign. Yes, go ahead, give me the money. They can come in. I feel like that's why Kenya and everyone got kicked out of that damn event she was hosting. And what was it, in Birmingham? I feel like they were like, oh, no. We don't do this here. This is not that kind of city.
They're like, we thought it was just going to be Kenya.
Exactly. We didn't know Marlo was coming. No.
We had no idea this was turning in. And I bet when they saw Marlo walk in, they're like, uh-oh, we're going to get drama. We cannot have it. We cannot have it. Well, that was it. That was the end of the fucking premiere. So
that was
okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
I feel like we made that way more fun than
we made it more fun. You're welcome, Orange County.
I know, right?
All right, guys, that wraps us up for today. And love you guys. If anyone's wondering why I'm in this weird setup, this is my new apartment. I forgot to mention that in the very beginning of this. So, yes. So that is also why I'm like with no setup whatsoever. So just,
I was like literally thinking, I was like, you did mention that, but I was like, oh no, we were talking for like 15 minutes before we hit record. So
exactly. We're talking about we're recording. Anyway, guys, love you, mean it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, would you mind leaving me a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you are listening? If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget there's the super thanks option down at the bottom, the little button with the $sign and the heart. And also I'm on buymeacoffee.com/SheSpeaksBravo if you want to buy me a little coffee or 2 or 5. And my Patreon, that is where I'm covering all of the classic Bravo jams. If you want to follow me over there and subscribe, link is in the description. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok at She Speaks Bravo. And whoever the guest was for today, all their information is always in the episode description. So if you want to follow them and check them out, check there for the info. And any of the sponsor codes that I mentioned in this episode will also be in the description. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.